So we have now Dr. Paul Retron from National Science Foundation. And National Science Foundation has been the leader in the Global Centers program running since 2023. They have run a second round of Global Centers program this year. And we are fortunate to have our program director joining us today to give a few remarks around Global Centers program. Paul, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the invitation. Maybe I can share my screen.
Yes.
For just I have just a few slides. I know it's a very short introduction, but let me just share my screen.
I think you have shared access, right? So you may try to share now. Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, so let me just make sure that I have control on my PowerPoint. Sorry for that. So yes, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here and see the result of some of the action of the NSF for the Global Centers program. So the Global Centers program is a NSF-led international funding opportunity that we started last year in 2023. So you have here on this slide, I think you can see the slide, right? So do you see the slide? Yes,
yes, we can see the slides.
Yes, okay. So on this slide, you can see that you have the contact for the Global Centers program if you like to contact us, and you have also the QR code. You can take a picture of that if you want to directly access to the site of the program. So the program is a cross-directorate at NSF, so all discipline initiative, but which is led by the Office of International Science and Engineering, also called OISE. And we are three program directors managing the program. I'm Paul Ratteron, and I'm managing the program with Lance Manuel, who is actually, I think, here today, and Jan Middendorf. So what I'd like to talk about is a key element of Global Centers, which is really a very unique initiative. First, it's to address global challenges. And global challenges cannot be addressed often by only one discipline or one country. So this program really required that you have international partnership in the research and educational endeavor. We want also the approach to be multidisciplinary. As I said, the program covers all disciplines at NSF, so it's a cross-directorate program. And typically, we'd like to have really integrated multidisciplinary approaches, particularly also, if possible, engaging the social sciences. Because another very important aspect of the program is that it's focused on use-inspired research. So I have a special slide on use-inspired research, which is a notion which is not new, but kind of new at NSF. And I would like to say a few more words about that, especially if there are a lot of students listening, because I think it's certainly something that will be developed in the future and future funding, future of research. In order to reach that, we'd like the PI, the principal investigator, to bring in stakeholders beyond academia. So typically, they could be communities that are impacted by the challenge that is addressed by the research. Or they could be industrial from the industry sector, developing some new technology or technology to mitigate or adapt to the challenge, to the change that is happening. They could be policymakers trying to adapt society to these changes and adaptation solution. So another important aspect, especially for the student here, is the workforce development with a specific focus on engaging diverse talent in the research endeavor. So in 2023, we have the first call, as was said just before. We were able to make 7 awards in collaboration with Australia, Canada, and the UK. So it's an international really funding opportunity. And this year, we just round up the second round of Global Centers, and we made 6 awards. And this time we have even more partners because we have actually 5 countries that are listed on the slide here. Canada, Finland, Japan, Republic of Korea, and the UK participating to this second round. So an important point is that NSF will fund the US side of the center, and we fund for the implementation award up to $5 million over a period of 4 to 5 years. That's the case for of course, the CLEETS center. But also we expect the partners, so listed here, to fund equivalent effort in foreign countries. So it's really unique in the way that all the researchers across border actually can benefit from funding so that they can actually carry out the research together. And they have the motivation, the science motivation, but also they have the fund to be able, the support to be able to carry out this research. So last year, the total investment across border for the first call that was focused on use-inspired research addressing global challenges in climate change and clean energy, the total investment was over $76 million. This is all countries. NSF was put approximately half of it. And this year, we have this new call that was actually focused on addressing global challenge through the bioeconomy. And this time, the 6 countries put together $82 million. So this is to give an idea of the investment. We really expect that this program will continue, really have a significant impact on different disciplines. So last year, it was climate change and clean energy. This year, it's bioeconomy. So this is 13 total global centers that has been awarded so far. So in 2023, you see that we have 7 awards. You can read on the slide the different topics that are addressed by these different centers. And on the right hand side of the slide, you can see the country that participated to this call. So you see last year we had a lot of bilateral opportunity involving the US and one country. For example, the CLEETS global centers, of course, which involve the University of Illinois, ASU, the Arizona State University, and the University Corporation of Atmospheric Research in the US, and we know involving University of Birmingham and Cardiff University in the UK. But we have also other global centers that involve 4 countries, for example, the one on hydrogen, on green hydrogen production. And this year, we see that the Global Center is gathering even more dynamic effort. We see now that we have been able this year to fund 6 awards, 6 global centers, 2 of them involving 5 countries and 4 of them involving 4 countries. So that means that if the US put $5 million, the equivalent effort, if it was US money, essentially for 5 countries, would be $25 million for the team. So it's really a significant effort. So I'm almost finished with my very short note, but since I'm addressing a lot of students today, and I wanted to say a few words about use-inspired research. So NSF is in the business of funding basic research. So traditionally, we found fundamental basic research. But Donald Stokes, in 1997, analyzed the different outcome of the research and classified them in these different quadrants that you see on the slide. On the left axis, you can see that is basically quantifying the quest for fundamental understanding of natural phenomena. And on the horizontal axis, you see the consideration for being able to use the outcome of the research. And you see this different quadrant. And we see Bohr, for example, that, studied the atom, the quantum mechanics, really was very focusing on the pure basic research. On the opposite quadrant, you can see Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, among other things, was focusing on really the application of the research toward the useful product. So the global centers, the use-inspired basic research is the pasteur quadrant. So you see that here, the quest for understanding the fundamental processes is very high, but at the same time, the consideration for usable outcome of the research, particularly by bringing stakeholders beyond academia that will be able to carry out the application of the research or the translation of the research into useful benefit to society in a foreseeable future. So the stakeholders are fundamental here because they really help designing the research project, and they help the researcher, the scientists, to set their research priorities so that their outcome of the research can be used by them. And so that's called the pasteur quadrant. And if you'd like to know more about it, I put the reference here of Donald Stokes' book that was published in 1997, and I really invite you to to have a look at that. I think this type of research is really was considered before since more than 20 years. You can see that 25 years, but now is going at the funding agency level, being under very, very high consideration. One of last slide is I just want to inform everybody that we have another program in the Office of International Engineering, which also is geared toward a cohort of students that can have international experience, because the workforce development in the framework of a global center is something very, very special, because you work in a framework of an international interdisciplinary collaboration. So it's really, for students, I think it's extremely rich. And what we ask the global center's manager, the PI, the leader of this effort, we ask them to build a community of people that will be able to carry out the research in the future. So we don't expect necessarily that the Global Center will be sustainable in terms of funding after the funding period, which is 4 or 5 years, as I said before. But we do expect that they form this community that you are part of as students working in this context. So this is very special. But we have other special opportunity at NSF, and this is one of them. It's called the IRIS program, where cohort of students go together, or sometimes that can involve also teachers and postdoc, go together during several summers in foreign country to work on specific topics. So if you're interested in pursuing this training of yours into this international framework, please have a look to this program, which is called the IRIS program. You have the NSF 24506 at actually the solicitation, the call for proposal, where you can have more information about it. And that's the end of my little remark. So as I said, NSF is very excited about this project that our PI, together with their British collaborators, are carrying out. We know how much decarbonizing the transport sector is important, given that more than 20% of the carbon emission comes from this sector. And we know also that it will be a big change that need to take into account the economical impact of the transition. So thank you very much for the work you're doing, and thank you for the student here to be interested in this work, and we're looking forward to some outcome of the project. Thank you. And here I put again the contact of the program and the QR code if you're interested to learn more about the global centers. And I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you, Paul, for your remarks around Global Centers program, and encouraging students that there are more opportunities around the international activities that the NSF is leading, especially the IRIS program. Thank you again. And thank you to other 2 NSF program directors joining us and attending the session as well.
Oh yeah, Jan Middendorf, and I know Lance Manuel was here too.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much for your invitation.